There is a lot of talk about conquering self-doubt these days. You might have heard, self-doubt does not define who you are or what you're capable of. Or, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And finally, the worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. But the truth is that if we got rid of self-doubt, we'd be completely and utterly insufferable. That may sound extreme, but that's me toning it down. The truth is, we'd be insufferable arseholes. Without self-doubt, we wouldn't just be that person you didn't want to sit next to on the plane, but we'd be the sort of person that you wouldn't want to let on the plane in the first place because they'd want to take over as the pilot. A little self-doubt is a good thing. It's that voice at the back of your head that says going up Everest without shoes on is not such a great idea. But that's not the story we're told. What the total positivity mindset of the hustle culture would have us think is that it is not to be listened to, that it is our responsibility to not pay attention to it, and that it's a roadblock to bulldoze through, and that listening to it is a sign of weakness, and giving into it is like surrendering to the enemy within us. And it does live within us, all of us, whether we admit it or not. Pretty much everyone has experienced self-doubt. It isn't just common, it's universal. Studies suggest that 85% of people have struggled with self-doubt at some point in their lives, and 70% of them report battling with imposter syndrome. Now, that may not seem like such a surprise, but what is a little unexpected is that it shows the most successful, the most confident, the ones that look, act and seem impervious to self-doubt are the ones who experience it most acutely. These apparently successful, confident people are the ones who doubt themselves most often. And that should make us think. If it's true, and we are hardwired in the direction of self-doubt, if it's part of our DNA, part of our operating system that we carry around with us as a species, then why do we struggle with it so much? Why do we insist on seeing it as a weakness instead of foundational to our success? The use of self-doubt is something that we've lost sight of in today's world for a number of reasons. Chief among them, the importance our culture places on certainty and decisiveness above all else. We've forgotten how crucial it is to leave room for introspection and growth, of stepping back, of being intentional about grasping the complexity of a situation. Nothing feels as good as pure, uncomplicated self-confidence. Just do it, we're told. Believe in yourself. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. There are a lot of slogans out there telling us that self-doubt is a problem, and they are very much mistaken. We need to stop seeing self-doubt as a problem to be solved and start embracing it as necessary and strategic, as a call to introspection. We need to stop thinking about self-doubt as the enemy and start instead realizing that it is the foundation of a holistic decision-making process. It's like that friend that tells you that you've got spinach in your teeth. Not something you want to hear. And yes, it would be better to not have spinach in your teeth, but it happens. It's a fact of life. And when it happens, it's better to know. That's why self-doubt is crucial. I've spent my career unraveling the mysteries of why people do what they do. I've seen individuals frozen by doubt and others who have used it as a springboard to success. The difference? Mindset. Those successful ones who treat self-doubt like a trampoline, they understand that it brings you down, but only for a second before it relaunches you upward. I know what it's like to ask myself, what the hell am I doing? Let me explain. I had invested a lot of money in a business with a guy, and soon after working with him, realized that I had been scammed. I had already left my high-paying corporate job against the better judgment of my initial gut instinct about this guy. So I had a meeting with my attorney, expecting to embark on a legal crusade, fueled by evidence, a thirst for vengeance, and the promise of victory. I mean, I was ready. Are you sure? Hell yes, let's do it. It was in that moment that my self-doubt kicked in, asking, have you learnt a $30,000 lesson? For the first time, I asked myself, what am I doing? Is this what I really want? In that moment, it wasn't the gears of justice that clicked into place. It was the realization that my error in judgment had taught me an invaluable lesson. That was a turning point. I never filed the lawsuit, but instead stepped up to the plate with the hard-earned knowledge that my self-reliance was a currency more valuable than what had been taken from me. As it does for so many of us, the decision to question myself, to take a hard look at what I was doing, marked the birth of a resilience I never knew I had. It wasn't just about self-doubt guiding me. It was a catalyst for transformation. Is there a form of self-doubt that is crippling, that holds you back? Of course, no question. It's the voice that says you can't before you can. This form of doubt breeds a fear of failure so intense that it kills the initiative needed to succeed. It turns potential into apprehension and it keeps you where you are. There's also an empowering form of doubt, one that leads to knowing you're sure when you're sure. It comes from three inner compasses: your mind, your heart, and your gut. Your mind is like the cartographer drawing the map, weighing the pros and the cons, navigating the consequences. Your heart reminds you of your core values, of what really matters, and if the road ahead is leading you toward or away from what's important. Your gut is our early warning system, primitive, instant, intuitive. We don't always know why our gut says what it does, but we ignore it at our own peril. Don't dismiss self-doubt or power past it. Recognise it, converse with it, leverage it. It also fosters humility and empathy. Seeing our own vulnerabilities and limitations reminds us that everyone, regardless of outward appearance or success, grapples with doubts and insecurities. This shared experience bridges gaps and is the key to fostering understanding and compassion. The key is to embrace self-doubt as a natural and crucial part of the human experience, using it to cultivate self-awareness through analysis and feedback. Most crucially, analyse your doubts, understand their origins, and use them as a stepping stone for growth. If I could leave you with just one thing, it would be to have faith in your self-doubt. You're not going to do this all the time, but there will be a time when you're faced with a big decision, when you find yourself standing at a crossroads. And when this happens, and it will, don't just slow down, stop and listen to that voice inside your head that's wondering if it's such a great idea after all. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But listening to that voice ensures you are on the right path. Trust your self-doubt and trust it's got your back. Thank you.